Some conservatives calling out Justice Gorsuch over his latest Supreme Court opinion. Plus, we could get rulings on key cases: DACA, abortion, access to the president's tax records as soon as tomorrow morning. Our legal panel is next. Far-reaching consequences. Some social conservatives are voicing that concern tonight about Monday's Supreme Court opinion defining sex under federal discrimination laws to include LGBTQ as a protected status. Princeton professor Robert George fears the, quote, eventual destruction of all women's sports, while Ed Whalen of the Ethics and Public Policy Center foresees, quote, an end to female-only sports. So let's discuss the issue and the opinion with Elizabeth Wydra, president of the Constitutional Accountability Center, and Carrie Severino, the president of the Judicial Crisis Network. Great to have you both back.
Great to be here.
Good to be here. Okay, so this is what Ben Shapiro tweeted out about Justice Gorsuch's opinion. He says the Gorsuch decision is not originalist in any way. He acknowledges as much. It is simply a bad outcome-driven legal decision, and it throws religious liberty, free speech, and employment law into complete turmoil. And that's what the dissenters, both Justice Alito and Justice Kavanaugh, talked about. Justice Alito in his dissent said this: there's only one word for what the court's done today: legislation. The document that the court releases in the form of judicial opinion interpreting a statute, but that is deceptive. I mean, Elizabeth, conservatives rail against judicial activism, and now they're accusing one of their own, quote unquote, a GOP nominee, of doing that.
Yeah, the Civil Rights Act is absolutely clear that you can't discriminate against someone because of sex. And that includes sexual orientation, that includes gender identity. The law is clear, and that's simply all that the court was doing, was following the words of the statute. And that's why you had this cross-ideological support for what the court decided, that, you know, in our country, we're not going to allow gay couples to get married on Sunday and then be fired on Monday because of who they love. Also, I think this parade of horribles is just preposterous. I fully believe that the United States of America can have equality under law and women's sports. All that the Supreme Court did was to say that the Civil Rights Act enforcing anti-discrimination law is clear, it will be applied, and I think that that's a victory for equality, not some sort of disruption of society. That's why you had both liberals and conservatives join on to this opinion, because frankly, in this case, it was easy to follow the text of the law where it led.
All right, we are getting another round of opinions in the morning. We got to leave it there, but we're waiting for DACA, abortion, and many others. The president's tax returns. We'll have you back to discuss when and if we get those. Elizabeth and Carrie, thank you both very much.
Great to be with you, Shannon.